Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make these Christmas booties. And these booties are for ages 0 to 6 months, so they've got a sole size of 10 centimeters, so they will fit up to about 6 months. And for these we're going to be using some chunky bulky weight yarn, and I've chosen a darkish reddish colour, and that's going to be for the bottom of the shoe and around the edge and for the little berry. And I'm also going to be using a white chunky bulky weight yarn as well. I used a cream colour for these ones, but this time I'm going to use a white chunky bulky weight yarn. And we're also going to need some dark green for the holly, and this is a DK light worsted weight yarn, so it's thinner than this yarn here. And we're going to be using a 4mm crochet hook for the majority of the pattern, and we're also going to be using a 3.5mm hook just to make the leaves and the berry as well. And I'm also going to be needing some scissors and a yarn needle. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to take your dark red chunky bulky weight yarn and your 4mm crochet hook, and we're going to chain 11. So you want to chain 11. So we do our slip knot and then we chain 11. So that's 1, 2, 10 and 11. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to work 2 single crochet into our second stitch from hook. Now our second stitch is this one here, so we don't count this loop on our hook as a stitch. So that will be our first stitch. We want to work into our second one, so that's this one here. We're going to work 2 single crochet into that stitch. And you want to make sure you're only catching that top bit of yarn there, just that single bit of yarn, because we're going to be working back into these stitches the other side. So we want to do 2 single crochet in our second stitch from hook, like so. And then we're going to work 1 single crochet in the next 8 stitches. So we go straight into the next stitch and do a single crochet, and we're going to do that in the next 8 stitches. So that's 1, 2 and 8, which should leave you with 1 stitch left, and in the last one we just want to work 2 single crochet. So that's 1 and 2. Okay, so all we want to do now is we want to work back along our chains again the other side. So our first foundation chain, as it were, is going to be the exact same stitch we've just worked our last 2 single crochet in. So we're going to work another 2 single crochet into this last stitch we've just worked in, which becomes our first chain when we work along the other direction, the other side. So we're just going to put our hook back into that same stitch again and work another 2 single crochet for our increase, 1 and 2. And you can see your work twisting around clockwise like this, which gets you to start working along this edge. And what we want to do now is we want to work 1 single crochet in the next 8 chains again. So we're going to be working into these same chains again, and I've done a video in more detail on how to work into your foundation chain stitches, so I'll put a link in the description to that video so you can go check it out. But what we want to do is we want to go straight into that second stitch, which is just there. And because we only caught the top piece of yarn when we worked this side, it makes it easier to see these stitches this side. So we're going to go into that next one there. I'm just going to work 1 single crochet. And we're going to do that for the next 8 stitches. And I'm going to work this tail into my work as well as I go along. So that's 1, and into the next one, 2, 3, and 8. which should leave you with one stitch left, one chain left. It's your very first one from the very beginning. And into that very last one in there, we're going to work 2 single crochet. So I'm going to go through there and just work another increase of 2 single crochet. So that's 1 and another one in the same stitch, 2. So it should look a little something like that. So you've worked along this edge, then worked back along the other edge. And by the end of those 2 rows, you should have 24 stitches. Okay, you should have 24 stitches. Okay, so what we want to do now is we're just going to work a slip stitch in the next stitch. We're going to go straight into this next stitch at the top here, and we're going to work a slip stitch. So we're going to put our hook through the stitch and just work a slip stitch like so. And then we're going to work, then we're going to chain 2. So 1 and 2. And that's going to count as a stitch. That's going to count as a half double crochet. And in the next stitch along, we're going to work 3 half double crochets. So we're going to go into the next stitch, and we're going to work 3 half double crochets. We do yarn over, pull through all 3, do our half double crochet. I'm going to do 3 of those. So yarn over, back into the same stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3, and yarn over into the same stitch again. Bring your yarn up, so you've got 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. So we've got 3 half double crochets in there. Then we're going to work 1 half double crochet in the next 9 stitches. So we're going to go into the next stitch now. And we're just going to work 1 half double crochet. We're going to do that in the next 9 stitches. So that's 1, 2, and the last one, 9, like so. And then in the next stitch we're going to work 3 half double crochets again, so we're going to do 3 in the next stitch. So go into that next stitch and do a half double crochet. Then we're going to do another one in the same stitch again. So we've got 2, and then we're going to do another one in the same stitch again. So we've got 3, like so, all in the same stitch. Then we're going to do 1 half double crochet by itself in the next stitch, so just 1, like so. And then we're going to do another 3 in the next stitch again. So that's 1, another one in the same stitch, and then your 3rd half double crochet in the same stitch again, like so, like that. Okay, and then coming back round to finish, we're going to do 1 half double crochet in the next 9 again. So we're going to do 1 half double crochet in the next 9. So that's 1, 2, and the last one, 9. Okay, and then we're going to do 3 half double crochet in the last stitch. So that's our last stitch there. It looks like we've got 2 left, but we actually only have 1 left. We're going to do 3 half double crochet in that last stitch. So that's 1, another one in the same stitch, and then a 3rd in that same stitch, like so. And that there, that's not a stitch, that. So all we need to do now is to slip stitch into our top of 2 chains. So there's our first chain, there's our second chain. So we just need to slip stitch now into that chain, like so. Bring our yarn through, and then just slip stitch to join our round. And there we have our second round. So the end of your second round, you should now have 32 stitches. So you should have 32. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to chain 1. We want to keep it quite loose, so we're going to bring our yarn up a little bit and work our chain 1. That makes it easier to find our chain at the end to slip stitch into. And then in the next stitch, which is this one here, we're going to work 1 single crochet. Just going to work a single crochet in that next stitch, like that. And then we're going to work 2 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, which should line up with your 3 half double crochets, those 2 stitches above. We're going to do 2 single crochet into each of those. So we do 1 single crochet and another one in the same stitch. So you've got 2, and then the next one we do another 2 single crochet. So that's 1 and another one in the same stitch. And like I said, that should line up with your 3 half double crochet below. And then in the next stitch we're going to be working 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. So that's 1 single crochet in the next 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, like that. And then we're going to do 1 half double crochet in the next 5. So we're going to go back to our half double crochets, do yarn over. We're going to do 1 half double crochet in the next 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then that should bring you up to your increases again from the previous round. So you should see your 3 half double crochets. So in the 2 stitches above we're going to work 2 half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So we do yarn over and do 2 half double crochet in this next stitch. So that's 1, another one in the same stitch. We're going to do that again for the next stitch. We're going to do 2 in there as well. So that's 1 and 2. So those increases you can see matches up with your 3 half double crochet increase in the previous round. So you've got 2 in there and 2 in there. And then we're going to do 1 half double crochet in the next 2. So that's 1 by itself, and then 1 by itself in the next stitch, like that, which brings us back to our next increase with 2 stitches above, and we're going to do 2 half double crochet in each of those. So we'll do 2 in each. So that's 1 half double crochet and another one in the same stitch. So you've got 2. And then we're going to do 2 half double crochet in the next stitch as well. So that's 1 and 2, like that. So make sure it lines up. And then we're going to do 1 half double crochet in the next 5. So now we're just going to mirror this side. So do 1 half double crochet in the next 5. So that's 1 and 5. And then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 5, so we're going to go down to single crochets now. So no, don't yarn over, just do a single crochet. That's in the next 5, so that's 1 and 5. And you should see that that brings you to your next increase, 1, 2, 3 half double crochets from the previous round. So those last 2 stitches, we're going to work 2 single crochet into each of those. We're going to do 2 single crochet in the next stitch. 1 and 2, some more yarn, and then 2 single crochet in the very last stitch, 1 and 2. And that should line up with your increase in the previous round. And it always looks like we've got a stitch left, but that's not a stitch because we chained 1 here. So into that chain 1 above the trick stitch, as I call it, we're just going to slip stitch into that chain 1. But what we're actually going to do is when we slip stitch, instead of grabbing the red yarn, we're actually going to introduce our new colour, which is our white yarn, or cream if you want to use cream like these ones. And again, this is a chunky, bulky weight yarn. Don't confuse that with extra chunky, extra bulky. So this is has a yarn weight of 5. So instead of grabbing the red yarn, we're going to overlay our white yarn, and we're going to pull that through our chain 1, and then we're going to slip stitch with that instead. Let's pull our tail ends tight, like so. And by the end of round, what round was that? That was round 3. By the end of round 3, you should have 40 stitches. So just double check you've got 40 stitches, and it should look a little something like that. And you can see you've got the nice shape at the bottom of the shoe appearing. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to chain 2. So chain 1 and 2. I'm just going to pull down those tail ends just to make that a bit tighter. So we chain 2, and then we're going to turn our work. So basically we're not going to work in this direction, we want to work in this direction. What we're going to have to do is basically turn our work over and start working back in the opposite direction. So what we want to do is work 1 double crochet into each stitch around. So now this under here, underneath our chains, we don't want to work into that. We want to go into this next one, so we're going to count these chains again as a double crochet. So our next one, next stitch we want to work into is this one here. Okay, so it's important to make sure you start working in the right one. So yarn over, and we're going to go into that stitch, next stitch, and we're going to work a double crochet. And we're just going to do 1 double crochet into each stitch around in the opposite direction. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, and you want to make sure that you've still got 40 stitches by the end of round 4. Okay, so I'm just going to do that, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I'm just coming up to the last one, 40, like so. And then once you've done that, all you want to do is to slip stitch into the top of your chain 2. So slip stitch, so you find your chain 2, top of your chain 2, and just put your hook through. Like so. Bring that through, and then just slip stitch to join the round. Okay, so it should look a little something like that, and it will start looking a bit better when we start working our decreases. Okay, so what you want to do now is we're going to chain 1. So I'm going to chain 1, and again bring it up slightly just to keep it a little bit looser so it's easier to find at the end. Do a chain 1, and we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So our next stitch is right there, so we're going to do 1 single crochet in there, then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch. So we're still working in this opposite direction. Then we're going to single crochet 2 stitches together. So we're going to go into the next stitch and grab our yarn, so we've got 2 loops. Then we'll go into the next stitch and grab our yarn, so we've got 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3, and that single crochets 2 stitches together. Then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 8 stitches. So 1 single crochet in the next 8. So that's 1, 2, and 8. And then we're going to do half double crochet 2 stitches together, and to do a half double crochet 2 stitches together decrease, we do yarn over, go through our next stitch and grab our yarn, so we've got 3 loops, then we do yarn over again, go into the next stitch, grab our yarn, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches, 5 loops rather, then yarn over and pull through all 5, and that gives you a half double crochet decrease. So you double crochet, half double crochet 2 stitches together. Then we're going to double crochet 2 stitches together 5 times. Now we want to double crochet 2 stitches together, and to do that we do yarn over into the next stitch, grab our yarn, then we do yarn over, pull through the first 2 as if you were doing the beginnings of a normal double crochet. Then we want to stop there and we do yarn over, go into the next stitch, grab our yarn, then yarn over, pull through the first 2, so you've got 3 loops, and yarn over, pull through all 3, and that gives you a double crochet 2 stitches together. I'm going to do that 5 times, so I do that another 4 times, so yarn over, go into the next stitch, you've got 3 loops, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over into the next stitch, grab my yarn, so you've got 4 loops, yarn over, pull through the first 2, so you've got 3, yarn over, pull through the last 3. And if I'm going too slow for you, then you can find a written version of this pattern on my website. I'll put a link in the description to where you can find that. Okay, so we're going to do another 3 decreases, double crochet decreases, like so. So you should have done 5 double crochet 2 stitches together, decreases, 5 of those. Now we want to do another half double crochet 2 stitches together, decrease. We do yarn over, go into the next stitch, grab our yarn, so you've got 3 loops, and yarn over, go into the next stitch, grab our yarn, so you've got 5 loops, yarn over, pull through all 5, like so. And then we want to do 1 single crochet in the next 9 stitches, so that's just 1 single crochet in the next 9 stitches. So that's 1, 2 and 9. Okay, and then we want to do single crochet 2 stitches together. So to single crochet we go into the next stitch, grab our yarn, 2 loops, to the next stitch, grab our yarn, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3, and that should leave you with 2 stitches, and we just want to do 1 single crochet in the last 2. So just 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And then all we want to do is we want to slip stitch into our chain 1 to join the round. So there's our trick stitch. So just above there is our chain 1. And we just want to put our hook through there. And hopefully we kept it loose enough so it's easy to do so. Yep. Grab our yarn, bring that through, and then just slip stitch to join the round. And by the end of that round you should have decrease down from 40 stitches to 31, so you should have 31 stitches by the end of that round, and it should look a little something like this now. And you can see the decreases are bringing the shoe in at the front, so it's getting a nice shape to it. And what we want to do now is, now we want to chain 1, so I'm just going to chain 1 and bring our yarn up a little bit just to keep it loose so it's easy to find at the end. So chain 1, and we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 12 stitches. That's in the next 12, so our next stitch is that one there, so we go straight in there, and we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 12, so that's 1, 2 and 12. Okay, and then we want to double crochet 2 stitches together, and we want to do that 3 times. So we're going to double crochet 2 stitches together, we're going to do that 3 times. We do yarn over to the next stitch, grab our yarn, and yarn over, pull for the first 2 as if we were doing a normal double crochet. We want to stop there, yarn over, go into the next stitch, grab our yarn, pull through the first 2, and then we just want to yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, so let's do that 3 times. That's 1, 2, 3. And now we want to do 1 single crochet in the next 12 stitches. I'm just going to go back to our single crochets. I'm going to do 1 single crochet in the next 12. So it's 1, to the very last stitch, 12. And then we just want to slip stitch into our chain 1, so that's our fake stitch, and our chain 1's always just above that. Put our hook through because we kept it nice and loose. It's really easy to see. Just slip stitch like so to join the round, and by the end of that round you should have 28 stitches. You should have 28, and it should look a little something like that. So you should have 28. Okay. Okay, so you can either choose to stop there, but what I've actually done on these shoes is I've added a slip stitch trim, and to do that what we want to do is when we slip stitch to join that last round, I'm just going to undo that again, do that slip stitch again. I'm going to put my hook through, and instead of grabbing the white I'm going to grab the red. Now obviously you would have fastened off your red, but I'm just going to keep it fastened because I won't actually be keeping this shoe. But you just rejoin the red yarn and bring that through to slip stitch instead, like so. And all you want to do then is in each stitch around the top is just work a slip stitch. So ignoring my bit of yarn there, we'll just go into the next stitch and work a slip stitch, and we go into the next stitch and do a slip stitch, and you just can repeat that all the way around, just doing a slip stitch into each stitch around, like so. And when you just get back round to the beginning, you just keep slip stitching until we reach that first slip stitch. Then we're going to slip stitch into that one as well, just to join up the red colour at the back, like so. There we go, and it should look like that. Obviously yours will be a bit neater at the back than mine is, because I don't want to fasten off the yarn. So there we go, and that is the basic shoe. So exactly the same as these. So all we want to do now is to create some like little holly leaves and a little berry to go on the top. And to do that we want to get our green yarn. Let's move that to the side. Get your DK light worsted weight green yarn, as long as it's thinner than the yarn you're using here. Obviously only use a chunky bulky weight yarn for the shoe, but you could use an Aran worsted weight yarn or a DK light worsted weight yarn like I'm using here, but this time we're going to be using a 3.5mm crochet hook. So to make the holly leaves, all we do is we chain 6. So we do a slip stitch and then we just chain 6. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like so. And then in your second stitch from hook, so again it's not that loop on your hook, it's not that first, it's that second one there. In that second one we want to do a single crochet, like that. Then we want to chain 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. Then we want to slip stitch into that same second stitch from hook we just did the single crochet in. So in the same stitch as your single crochet we're going to work a slip stitch, like so, which leaves you with 4 chains left. And the next one we want to work just a single crochet. And the next one we want to work a single crochet. Then we want to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We want to slip stitch into the same chain that we did the single crochet in. So going back into that same stitch, we do a slip stitch, leaves us with 2. We do a single crochet in the next stitch, then we do a single crochet in the last stitch, then we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we slip stitch into the same stitch as our last single crochet, so that's that last stitch. And as you can see, again, it's making us want to work into these foundation chains again. And we've already worked into our first one, which is technically our last one. So in the next one, you can see that there, we're going to work a single crochet. And put that through, just work a single crochet. So it's always important when you're working the first row to only catch that top bit of yarn so you can see these easier the other side. But I will put a link in the description to my video on this in more detail. Then in the next one there, we're going to work a single crochet. I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to slip stitch into that same stitch as our single crochet at the bottom. That should leave us with 2 chains left. So in the next one there, we're going to do a single crochet, and then the very last one, which is very easy to see, we're going to do another single crochet, then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, then we're going to slip stitch back into that same chain as our single crochet. Okay, and then we just fasten off, the yarn up, and that creates our little miniature holly leaf, like so. So we're going to create 2 of those. So we'll do another one of those, just repeating exactly the same steps, and then I'll come back. Okay. Okay, so I just repeated those steps to make another holly leaf, exactly the same. I'm just going to sew those onto the front of our shoe. And to make the berry, it's very simple. We just get our red yarn again, and this time we're going to be using a 3.5mm hook, so the same as the leaves. And it's really easy. All we do is we just chain 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure it's nice and tight at the beginning. And then we're just going to slip stitch into our first chain to form a loop. Which now, because I've pulled really tight, it's really hard to do. Maybe pull it tight afterwards. And then we just slip stitch to form a loop, like so. And then you can sew that tiny little loop onto the front of your shoes. Let's pull that up, get my hook out of the way. So you can sew that little loop onto the front of your shoes to make a really small berry. And there we go. And all you need to do is repeat all these steps to make the shoe, because each shoe is identical. And there we go. And there you'll have your little baby booties, your little festive Christmas booties with little holly leaves. And you can also adapt this pattern as well. Here I made some in just white with no slip stitching around the edge, and I just made a flower and added a pearl on the front, like so. And I also made some ones with straps as well. I've made some girly ones here with a little flower on the side to use as a button, and again I've made some little boy ones as well here, all doing exactly the same pattern as this main shoe. Now to make the strap, all I did to make the strap was at the very end, you know, like we did for the slip stitch ring around the edge, all I did here was I chained 1 and I did 1 single crochet, I chained 1 and then I did a slip stitch in the next 9 stitches. So I did a slip stitch in the next 9, and then I chained 16 stitches. I chained 16 and then I slip stitched into the 9th chain of my 16. So I chained 16, which brought it all the way around here, then I slip stitched into the 9th chain from the beginning, and that creates a little button loop. And for the opposite shoe, all you do is you chain 1, but instead of going this direction, we turn and we go in the opposite direction. We do a slip stitch in the next 9, and then we chain 16 all the way around, then we slip stitch into the 9th chain of the 16th to create a button, and that's how you do the little extra strap. So, and there we go. And if you want to learn how to do the flower, I'll put a link in the description to my tutorial on how to make a simple flower. And in another video, which I haven't done yet, I'll show you how to make this double flower as well, if you'd like that. Let me know in the comments below if you want to know how to do that flower there. Okay, well, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and this is another a video tutorial which is part of my advent calendar on my website. So if you want to go to happyberry.co.uk, you can go check out the advent calendar on the homepage, where you can get a free pattern, a free crochet pattern or knitting pattern, who knows, each day up until Christmas Eve. So anyway, thanks for watching. I shall see you soon for some more crochet fun. Thanks for watching. Bye.